Hello and welcome to my Project Zomboid beginner's tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to discuss how to play Project Zomboid if this is your first game. The lessons that you're going to learn in this tutorial are going to keep you alive past the first couple of days. So let's start up with a new game. We're going to come over here and click on solo. I highly advise you to play the tutorial. It'll give you the basics of the controls. But for right now, we're going to assume that you're ready for your first game. So click on solo. Okay, so here is the new game screen. You have your play styles, your challenges, which are when you're more comfortable with the game, you can challenge your skill. And then down here we have mods. There's only 3 mods that I have, but basically this is going to be the vanilla game experience. We will talk about mods in a future video. So Apocalypse is your Project Zomboid standard gameplay. This is the hardest version of the game, or of the standard difficulties. Then you have Survivor, which gives you a little bit more powerful combat, a little longer lifespan, a little bit more durability. This is kind of the medium, and then there's Easy, which is Builder mode, and this is the one that we're going to do so that you can get used to the game and how it is played. You can jump straight into Apocalypse, but I wouldn't advise it for your first game. And then, of course, there's Custom Sandbox where you can define your own style. But we're just going to use Builder right now. So click on Builder, and then click on Next. Now, there are 4 places that you can spawn on the map. Muldra is the first one up here, and this is kind of your medium difficulty spawn. Muldra was the first location added to the game all the way back in pre-alpha, so it gets top billing. West Point is your hard mode. West Point has a high zombie population. Lots of nooks and crannies where they can hide and really get you. So I advise not to choose West Point or Muldra. The 2 starting locations that I most advise for new players is Riverside and Rosewood. They both have their upsides and downsides, but for the most part, you have low zombie population, plenty of resources. Rosewood has a lot of points of interest that are very close together. So that's the one that we're going to choose for. But if for your first game, either Riverside or Rosewood will work perfectly fine. So we're going to choose Rosewood. Click Next. Now, here you have your occupation, and you can choose from any of these pre-selected occupations. For this playthrough, we're going to go with unemployed because it is a blank slate. But feel free to try out any of these occupations. They all have their pros and cons. Most people advise to choose burglar as your first one, but we're going to do unemployed for this one. Now, you have positive traits and negative traits. Negative traits take away from your character or pose a penalty, but give you points, which you can then use to buy positive traits. And you need to keep everything balanced. So let's look at the negative traits. I'm not going to go through all of the negative traits and explain them in detail. There are videos out there for that. But I'm going to give you a basic build. This will help you in the game. So you're going to choose Slow Healer, Prone to Illness, conspicuous, and weak stomach. These four, basically, the reason why I'm having you choose these is because these four negative traits effectively have no or little effect on your gameplay. And then for positive traits, we're going to choose keen hearing, organized, keen hearing, fast learner, wakeful, outdoorsman, and cat's eyes. All right. Click next. And then we're just going to go with a random character. And we will press play. When you first boot up the game, you'll get this Zomboid survival guide that popped up. It is always good to kind of go through it and read about it. It'll give you a lot more information about everything, more than I will cover in this tutorial. I'm just here to get you, through your first couple of days. So here is your character in the center, and this is your heads-up display. In this version of the game, you get a mini-map in the corner, but most versions you do not get a mini-map. Up here is your time icons. Right now we're at paused, but you have play normal, fast forward, super fast forward, and ultra fast forward. So normal time, ×2, ×3, ×4. Up here you get your inventory and your loot that are in containers or on the floor. And you can click through them by clicking on these icons. And then over here you have your primary weapon slot, secondary weapon slot, your inventory, which turns these on and off, your health, where you will you'll use this to heal any wounds that you take in the game. Over here is your crafting menu. And then you have your pickup, place, rotate, and dismantle any furniture that's in the game. Over here you have your investigate area, or your search, which you can use to forage for items that are in the world that are hidden. And then over here you have your map, which you can only open when you are unpaused in the game. Keep in mind, when you're looking at your map, everything is still going on. So if you open your map while zombies are attracted to you, you're going to find yourself eaten pretty quickly. Down here you have your hotbar, your slot for your back, left and right belt. All right, and then the keys that I would like you to use often and understand is F1, 2, 3, and 4 on your keyboard. F1 opens your Zomboid survival guide. F2 pauses the game. F3 plays it, and F4 does your first level of fast forward. Note that on multiplayer servers, the time controls do not work. They are disabled for players, and so the time moves forward as the server, so you cannot pause in multiplayer. So we're going to unpause the game. Now in your house, in your starter home, there are no zombies. but there is a TV. Now, when you click on a object in the game, if it has a interface, you can pop it open. I always like to turn my TVs down to 2 and then tune into Life and Living, which will give you experience in the game, in your skills, which are, if you press L on your keyboard, that'll bring up your skills. Life and Living increases your skills just by watching TV. Otherwise, you only gain skills by performing the actions that are associated with the skills in the game, and they go up very slowly. The first level is usually pretty good, is usually pretty quick, but after that it gets progressively harder until you get to level 10. Now, there is, to move your character around, that sound means that I gained a level in cooking. To move your character around, you use WASD. You should move yourself around to familiarize yourself with how your character moves. It is an isometric game, so it does take a little bit of getting used to. So in your starter home, no zombies will spawn, so you can explore your starting house without any fear of being attacked by the Walking Dead. Over here, we have your loot, which will open up if you're nearby a container or anything on the ground, it'll pop up over here. Over here, you have your inventory. This is your general inventory that's on your player, and then any keys that you have are on this tab, and anything in your backpack are in here. In order to equip things, you right-click, and then you can attach an item to your person. Some can only be attached to your back, but when you attach it to your character, it pops up down here on your hotbar. And so when you have, let's say you have the baseball bat attached to your back, if you press 1, it readies the bat for combat. And if you press 1 again, it puts it back onto your back. Now, let's talk about looting. There are multiple ways to transfer items from a container to your inventory. You can drag an item to your container. Double click will also transfer an item to your container. Loot all. Clicking this button here, loot all, will transfer everything that's inside the container into your currently selected inventory space. You can also drag to highlight all of the items and drag them over. You can also click on one and then shift click on another item to select all of the items that you want to. Another way you can do that is if you hold Control, you can click on individual items and then move them over as a group, leaving the ones behind that you don't want. So now that you kind of understand the controls, you're ready to head outside. So let's see if there's anything interesting in here. Really, there isn't much because this is not going to be our base. This is a pretty good starter home, but it's not the safest of starter homes. So we're going to find a better place to live. So that means venturing outside where you will encounter zombies. Now, I will say that zombies seem very intimidating at first. you may even panic a little when you encounter your first zombie, and that will get you eaten. So the one thing that you want to do, let's make this easy. Let's discuss how zombie mechanics work and zombie management. So over here is going to be our volunteer zombie. Now they have a vision cone that's right in front of them, and if they see or hear you, they will target you and then continue to follow you until they lose sight of you. Once they do that, they will path to where they last saw you, look around for you, and if they don't see you, then they will give up and start doing what this guy's doing, just standing around. Now, zombies are really easy to deal with in the base game. So let's get his attention. So as you can see, I can actually walk faster than the zombie. He cannot catch me if I'm just walking away. So most new players, when they start getting followed by a zombie, will panic and start running, which will decrease their stamina and make it harder to escape the zombies, and will also alert other zombies to their location. Now, as you can see, I can keep ahead of him really, really easy. It is not difficult to stay out of reach of zombies. If you need to move through an area, just walking is enough to keep the zombies out of your hair and keep you safe. You can just walk away and the zombies can't catch you. Obviously, if you're playing with sprinters, which you shouldn't if you're a new player, this will not work. Another thing that zombies will do is if they're on the other side of a fence, what they will do is they will fall over the fence, and when they're on the ground there, you can instantly kill them. It's an instant 1 or 2 shot kill depending on your stamina. So let's equip our trusty baseball bat and deal with the zombie. Okay. So one of the easiest ways to deal with a zombie, if you press the right mouse button, you will go into attack mode. This, of course, will allow you to swing your bat and kill the zombie. And you swing or attack by clicking the right or left mouse button. So right mouse button to get into attack mode, left mouse button to attack. Now, one of the easiest ways to take out a zombie is actually to push them. So you turn around in attack mode, and when they get close, you press spacebar, and they will just fall to the ground. And then you can stand on top of the zombie. Now, when you stand on top of a zombie, they cannot get up, they cannot attack you, they can't bite you. They are completely helpless and at your mercy. The only thing that is dangerous to you now is other zombies in the area. But you could stay here all day, he won't get up. And then you just target him using your handy dandy little targeting thing and bop him on the head. So here we have the loot that's on the zombie, and we have a red digital watch. We're going to put that on, and as you can see, now we know the time. So it's 12:40 in the afternoon. It's 61 degrees right now, and then this is the date. So this gives you all of that time information. One of the things that you should do is when you pick up a watch, you go over here to set alarm and change the alarm to 5:30. Do not turn it on, and make sure this is turned off. Now, when you go to sleep, you can just click up here, and it will turn the alarm on and wake you up for life and living. And then you click it again to turn it off. Alright, now I'm going to pull a zombie and show you how to use short fences to deal with the Walking Dead. And I'm sorry if you hear my dogs barking in the background, but they're freaking out over something. Probably a zombie. All right. So when zombies fall, there's a potential, and you just saw it there. They have a potential to lunge. But let's go over here, and when they fall over, you just come over and one-shot kill. And that's how you use low fences to take out zombies. And this is a really good way of dealing with multiple zombies, is having them trip over the fence. But for the most part, when you're going after zombies, one or two of them are easy to take out. 3 or more is probably a little bit much for a beginner. But you can just... Now, they won't always go get pushed over the first time. But, you know, keep pushing them and they will eventually go down, and then you can bop them out. We won't learn multiple, like, clearing out hordes until the next video. So here in Rosewood, there's actually a really great starting safe house. If you come up this road, and there will be 2 mailboxes and then a dirt road. If you find this, this place is actually a really, really good safe house. I will link in the description below a place where you can see the entire Zomboid map, and you can just kind of figure out where you are based on that, and then come over to these houses here. But the great thing is they're out in the woods, which means that there is, once you get this area cleared out, there are going to be very few zombies that come and bother you out here, because they'll get lost in the woods. So let's talk about clearing your first safe house. So come up here and try the door. The door is locked. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do is kind of walk around the house, making sure, peeking inside to make sure that there are no zombies inside, and there are no zombies outside. Okay, looks relatively clear. So when you come up to a window that you want to open, you press E, and the character will try and attempt to open the window. This one opened really easily. Some of them are locked, and you will either open it or break the lock, and then you have to go to another window. Now, when you open a window, take a moment, because sometimes there's an alarm on the house, and when you open it, it will attract all the zombies in an area. So wait a moment before you hop in. But since there's no alarm, we're gonna go ahead and hop in. Now, you want to get into sneak mode by pressing C. The C key on your keyboard will get you into sneak mode, which reduces the sound that you make, and also slightly reduces the vision. So when you're clearing a house, the first thing that you want to do, we'll pop this over to life and living. The first thing you want to do is you want to go up to the doors, or like take a look around. Now, if there can be zombies on the other side of this door. So the best way to draw them out, there's 2 methods. You can either press Q, which will make you whisper. Make sure that you're doing this in sneak mode, because if you were standing up, you would shout, and all the zombies in the area would hear you and come and eat you. So that's one way to do it. Another way is you get into a fighting stance and you press spacebar and shove the door. And if there's a zombie on the other side of the door, it'll hear that and then start banging on the door. And it doesn't seem like there are zombies in the house. So that's good. So let's start clearing the rooms. kind of come up here, take inventory of what's in the room. Sleeping tablets, that's pretty nice. And also, since we're making this our house, we want to come up to the window and right click on it. It'll open this action menu, and you want to close the curtains, because if the zombies cannot see you, they won't attack you. So remember to close all of the curtains so that the zombies can't see in, spot you, and then decide, oh, we're gonna go after that tasty, tasty morsel. You just kind of, ooh, that's nice, an antique oven. So these are really great for winter, because when the power goes out, you won't be able to keep the house warm. This antique oven acts as a heater and also allows you to cook your food using wood from the surrounding areas, which I'll talk about how to gather wood in a future video. Just kind of be cautious still, because just because you hit the doors doesn't mean that the zombies can't, play dead on you. So still be cautious, but you can be relatively certain that there is nobody in the house. But still remain relatively cautious. Keep an eye, just kind of take stock of what's going on in the house. Right? Kind of look through. But yeah, that's how to properly clear a house. And of course, if there was a zombie in here, you would take care of that problem. Remember to close the doors so that we don't get spotted. Now, another thing you can do is you can remove the curtain and then add a sheet. If you remove a curtain, it'll give you a sheet, which you can add to any windows that do not have curtains on them. So if there's, even if there's no curtain, you can still get one by pilfering curtains from other houses and then using those to seal off the line of sight in your base. All right, we just skipped ahead a little bit, and I'm going to talk to you about how to cook food and do some inventory management. So I went on a little bit of a looting run. We're not going to talk about looting runs in this video, but I went on a little bit of a looting run and got a whole bunch of stuff. Now, you want to be organized in the game. You want to put stuff that's perishable in the fridge where it won't go bad, because things that are perishable in the game will eventually start going bad if it's left out. Non-perishables so things like beef jerky and cooking stuff like brown sugar and peanut butter and salt and all of that stuff, you can put into cupboards. They will not go bad. Now let's talk about cooking, because now that you have everything organized, how you have all of your perishable stuff in the fridge and all of your non-perishable stuff in the in the cupboards. Always good to have your canned food together as well. But I also found this saucepan with rice that's uncooked. Now, the great thing about food like this is that with your cooking skill, you can actually make pretty decent food. Now, if I just ate this regular uncooked rice, I would have a -10 hunger, but I would get unhappiness. This needs to be cooked. So you come over here to the stove, to a stove, oven, or what have you. Put the item that you want to cook inside of it. And then turn it on, and it will cook the item that you put inside. And you'll see it once it heats up. You'll see there's a cooking bar. Once the cooking bar completely fills up, it'll turn into a burning bar. Once the burning bar completely fills up, the food will be burnt and it will be no good. So you want to cook the item that thoroughly. So get the cooking bar all the way up to full. And then when it turns into burning, you turn it off. And there is your cooked food. Now, a saucepan with just rice in it, that's not good. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually move this to the normal inventory, because it'll be a little easier to do this. All right, so if you right click and open the menu, you can add items to your rice to make it more palatable. So we can add some chicken to it, and you'll notice that its stats will go up. We can add pork chop to it, and you see the amount of hunger that it reduces, and now you notice the happiness also is reduced by just putting a little bit more stuff in there. You can add broccoli, salt as a spice will also make you less bored. You can add basically anything, and it will start making this better. Now, once you do that, this is now back to uncooked. So if you come over here to the stove and pop it back in, you'll have to cook it again, but once it is fully cooked, it will reduce your hunger by a lot, and will also make you less bored, and also make you less unhappy. So you should always try and cook your perishables first before you start eating your cans and non-perishables. And you should always cook your food, because it'll make you happier. We can go ahead and eat all of this. And now you're nice and full to bursting. And of course, this moodlet up here. So you will get moodlets, which will basically tell you how your character is feeling over here on the side. So full to bursting, so fat and happy. But I am a little drowsy, so I'm ready for sleep. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put away our saucepan to use when we need to cook next. And we'll come over to our room. We're going to have this be our bedroom. Now, most of the things that you can do in this game, you can do through right-clicking. In this case, we'll sleep to get rid of that drowsy moodlet. We can also turn on our alarm so that at 5:30 we would wake up if we were going to sleep through it, but since we didn't. And we're ready for a brand new day of looting and killing zombies and surviving. Alright, I think that's all for this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about more advanced things like how to deal with hordes and how to go on looting runs and how to farm, fish, and forage. But until then, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it'll help you in surviving a little bit more in the zombie apocalypse. So, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you again real soon.